Over the years, the Premier Soccer League has brought in some fantastic foreign imports. And this year, we have had a number of foreign players coming into the league. And obviously, it's exciting times. Some we know of, some we are relying on YouTube as to how these players played in their previous clubs. But the big clubs that were, your Kaizer Chiefs, your Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, it's expected when these clubs bring in players from outside the country that those particular players will be of a certain quality. Yes, I do go by the name of Oscar Nsinzi Football. Discuss anything to do soccer from Africa to the world and from the world to Africa. On this episode, I'll actually give you 7 foreign players that I believe will improve their teams and might actually even improve the standard of the new Betway Premiership in South Africa. Obviously, a lot of teams are beefing up their squads because chances are very high that the money for the Premiership will increase, as MTN has also increased MTN 8 from 8 million rands to 10 million rands for the winner. We expect the same thing to happen with Betway Premiership having taken over from DStv. Now, with that promise, a lot of teams are also going to go outside the borders to check if there's any quality, there's any degree, type of player that can actually come in and make the existing players in the respective teams uncomfortable and improve their squad. So in this episode, I'm giving you 7 foreign players to look out for. And all of you basically have to come back to this episode and do a review as to the progress of all of these 7 players. Now, of the 7 players, I've marked all of them. They're coming from 7 different clubs. Well, I've chosen 7, and you can give me your own. You can add to the list or subtract to from the list I'll give you. But the 7, 1 is a South American, 2 are from West Africa, 2 are from Angola, 1 is from Central Africa, and another one is our neighbor right here in Namibia. And these players, I'm going to give them, and they're in no particular order, no order of importance. As they come, just receive them. If you don't know any of them, take note of all of them. They are coming from Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs, TS Galaxy, Amazulu, Sekhukhune United, and a Cape Town City. Now, the very first one I am going to mention in this episode is Arthur Salles. Arthur Salles, a 22-year-old forward. He's a number 9, a striker, taking forward. He is from Brazil, although Mamelodi Sundowns, they bought him from the first division or second division of Belgium. A lot of expectations on this guy because he's apparently the most expensive signing coming into South Africa, surpassing the figure that was placed on Marcelo Allende, who also plays for the same team in Klokop, that is Mamelodi Sundowns. What is Mamelodi Sundowns going to be getting from this guy? A lot of goals. And as young as he is, it is clear from what we have seen is that the guy will eat nice. You'll eat nice when you play for Mamelodi Sundowns, especially with the plethora of attacking forwards that are around you. He's coming into a quality side, a side that already knows how to play. Some of the clips we've seen of him, you can just tell that he'll be obviously competing with a Shalulile, with a Ribeiro, and the newcomer now, Ikram Reyners, coming from Stellenbosch United. He's a Brazilian. The history of Mamelodi Sundowns is that majority of the imports they've brought in from South America, 90% of these guys have done extremely well. They've improved the team, they've improved the standard of the league, and they've even improved Mamelodi Sundowns going into Africa. He's not a type of striker that Mamelodi Sundowns have had before. We've had tall guys before, but this one, he has got a good structure, but it is clear that he can also play. He can also eliminate defenders one-on-one, and that's exactly what Mangoba Mngeti is looking for from some of the attacking forwards that will be playing this season. And with the type of system that he wants to approach games with, Sales will be of great value to the new head coach. Now let's go to our neighbor right here in Namibia. This is the golden boy of Namibia. I'm talking about Prince Tjiueza. Already last year, November, October, Rolando Mokoena was rumored to be after this young man. He's 22 years old. He has played also in Eastern Europe for Kosovo, in Kosovo, helping that team to be promoted to the Premiership. And Mamelodi Sundowns were after the signature. And while they were still monitoring, some data, being helped by their scouts, Cape Town City came into the picture, and believe it or not, they paid 1.3 million rands to get him from his Kosovo club in Eastern Europe to come to Betway Premiership. Now, what will you be getting from this Prince Tjiueza, the Namibian golden boy? Now, when you look at the Namibian national team, he plays with Dion Hotto up front, and he plays more as a second striker behind Peter Shalulile. He can play as a number 10. He can play as a left or a right attacking forward. So under Coach Tinkler, I believe that Prince will add a great value to that Cape Town City team, who has brought in a lot of experience, a lot of quality players into the side. I mean, you've got a Kabohelo Mukocho, a Makaringe. Those two only, they will give you some killer passes. The boy doesn't have to... It's not like a Namibian team where they are relying on him alone for creativity. With Cape Town City, you have a Rhodes, a young Rhodes. You have a Mukocho, you have got a Makaringe, you've got a Domingo that are as creative. So he will be playing around very good players, or if not even better than him. He's young, he's going to grow as a player, but he will be adding a lot of spice and a lot of creativity, and will add a lot of goals to Cape Town City, the Citizens, this season. Now, let's go to West Africa. Now, AmaZulu, with their Spanish coach, they have managed to scoop in this players of seven, the list of 7 I've made. Only 2 players are older than 24, and one of them is the West African Boniface Haba. Boniface Haba, AmaZulu, they bought him from a Moroccan team, Botola One, and he's a right winger. Some of the clips, the videos we've seen of him, of what other players say about this guy, is that a lot of goals I've seen from him, they came via being him in the box and him finishing them with a header. Seems like he's a good header of the ball. As much as he's a right winger, whenever he's in the box, he fights for those balls and he kills them. He has assisted a lot of goals, and one element that was that AmaZulu were actually very in need of last season was a person who was going to score a lot of goals and a person who was going to assist a lot of goals. They didn't score a lot of goals and they conceded a lot of goals. So up front, they are a bit of toothless. So adding a guy from West Africa, Guinea, coming from a more competitive, equally competitive league in Morocco, be rest assured that a Boniface Haba is going to add a lot of quality into the AmaZulu side. If you are named Boniface, one hopes that he will duplicate the form of the Nigerian Boniface who plays under Xavi Alonso in the Bundesliga. I'm talking about the Nigerian Boniface himself. And if you share that name, let's see, hopefully for AmaZulu followers and the management and technical staff, that this Boniface will add a lot of goals, which is something that they are really in need of. Now, one player coming from Central Africa, Kaizer Chiefs were rumored to be after him. He was the leading goal scorer of the Zambian league, and as to how Sekhukhune managed to scoop this one, I also don't know. 23 years young. He is from Democratic Republic of Congo, the leading goal or former leading goal scorer in the Zambian league, and he comes into the league with a lot of expectation, and he's a clear number 9, and one hopes that with Sekhukhune going into Africa, he will help them in to bang in those goals. I mean, they've already. I'm not sure if Victor Litswalo is there, or the Victor Litswalo is going to TS Galaxy. But either way, in Andy Boyeli, the Congolese, we as the league were happy to receive this guy. One hopes that he will, duplicate the form he had in Zambia. Obviously, South African Premiership, the Betway Premiership, is different from all these other leagues. People can say you were performing at a certain area or a certain country or certain league, but when you come here, you find that it's more quicker, and it's very, very, very different. Others will take more time in adapting, but one hopes that all these foreign players that are coming into the league, they will all hit the ground running. Now, let's go to the only defender in the list of 7. The only defender, and he is from Angola. I'm talking about Inacio Miguel. He's Angolan. He's 28 years of age. He comes in with a lot of experience. He can play as a center back. He can play as a defensive midfielder. He can also play as a right back. Kaizer Chiefs in this guy. Well, Kaizer Chiefs, they are yet to announce him, but it is clear as daylight that he is heading to Amakosi. They bought him from Petro de Luanda, who, I mean, anyone who watched Petro de Luanda, they were a very good defensive unit. In the group stages of last season in Champions League, they were the best. They were the side with the best defensive record coming out of group stages, going into the quarterfinals. And part of that defensive unit, it was this guy, Inacio Miguel. And he's coming also to a familiar face in Costa, who's one of the guys who is in the technical team of, not Costa, is the Santos technical staff member in that Kaizer Chiefs technical team. So he can play as a right back, he can play as a defensive midfield, he can play as a center back. One area where Kaizer Chiefs struggled a lot in was in defense. Their defense was really porous, and if you get an experienced guy like Inacio Miguel, you can just tell that Nabi wants to ensure that at the back they are as solid as they can, because championships will win. I mean, defenders or defending will win you championships, and I believe that this pillar that Nabi has brought into Naturena, the Kaizer Chiefs family, I believe everyone is going to be happy. Obviously, and I'll repeat this yet again, that we don't adapt to environments in a similar rate. One hopes that such players, when they come into the league, especially a big team like a Kaizer Chiefs, already Sundowns and Orlando Pirates, that they will adapt as quick as they can. Worse for Kaizer Chiefs, because the Kaizer Chiefs messes, they are hungry for silverware, they are hungry for a bit of success. They're already not in the top 8. Their only hope is the league, Nedbank, and the Kalin Kappa knockout. So, Inacio, welcome to South Africa. Hopefully you'll hit the ground running and help the Amakosi faithful. Now, another Angolan, who was probably one of the first signings in pre-season, that got a lot of people excited, because we know the guy from the Angolan national team, we know him from Petro de Luanda, is Gilberto, an attacking forward, 23-year-old, an attacking forward who can play right or even left. He's exciting. A different type of an attacking winger. He can cut in, he can take you to the byline, he's assisted, he can score, he can also play as a false 9. So he's already joining a side that is healthy, that has got plenty options going forward. There's a Maswanganyi, there's a Mufukeng, there's a Mabasa, There's Saleng, who seems to have regained his old form. So Gilberto is joining a side that is rich in attacking forward. But I believe this one, he's an exciting player, and I will not be shocked, depending on how the season will go. If, I mean, with even the preseason games you watched in Spain, you can just tell that he's blending in slowly by surely with the guys he's playing with at Orlando Pirates. And the last player in the list of 7 imports into the Betway Premiership is a guy from Ghana. He's a left footer, 24 years old, and his name is Seth Osei Etese. Welcome to South Africa, brother. A Ghanaian brother who's been signed by TS Galaxy. He can play as a number 10. A lot of the clips I've watched of him, he likes actually coming from the center, and he assists a lot of goals. He's got these late runs into the box, so he can play as a number 10. He can play as a number 8. You know, when you play for TS Galaxy, you gotta be fit, and if you're fit, you'll probably be in the starting lineup if there is something special about you. And I think that they even brought him just to fill up a space in TS Galaxy, but they've bought him because they've seen qualities of him that can actually help this side. TS Galaxy have sold a lot of players, and they are a selling team. They make money off selling players, and I believe that he will be replacing the likes of Sekhukhune, Boyela, and the others they've sold who were forwards in this team. Now, that is the 7 foreigners that we must look out for in the Betway Premiership. The very first game will be on the 14th of September. Do comment on the section below as to who are you most excited about, who's coming from outside. I wouldn't mention a player like a Sereno because he's been in the league forever, and now he's registered not as a foreigner, he's registered as a South African. So, but I know there's more than 7 out there. But what do you make of the list I've mentioned? Yes, if you're seeing this space and this content for the very first time, make sure if this thing added any value to the content you follow on YouTube, hit that like button. I think the like button is more important than any other thing. Hit that like button, really will help my content reach to people who are like you, who love such content. And comment in the section below of what you think, and subscribe to the brother and help contribute to the channel by watching the ads as well. I don't want to waste any time, and I'll see you on the next episode. And I end it there by saying, may my God bless you all.